so I wanted you to pick something that was personal to you. So if you can look around your room, something that's that you can, that you feel like you want to draw something again that tells a story to you personally. I'm using a softball. Whenever I see a softball, I think of my daughter. It brings me back to her whole school career of softball, all the games, all the bruises, all the hospital visits, all the so and so it means something to me. But now let me switch to I just want to share and I'll go back. So we did a pencil drawing first, and now I'm going to put a pointillism piece over here. So, and then of the same softball, that's what I'm doing. Some people wanted to do, 4 different things that had, special meaning as a memory. That's fine too. This is just, the way I teach is merely a suggestion usually. So.
Okay, see, I just did a softball, or it's a hard ball.
You don't have to do a softball, but anyway. So, welcome. I'm going to start because it's
okay. Go ahead.
5,
please.
and
pick up.
So there's
I can pick up.
So I'm glad that most of you got my email and the picture and a little bit of brief the Sotheby's articles about it. I just want to share. Hopefully, I can do this. Let's see. Share my screen. This is the picture that I shared with everybody. Can you guys see this? Yes, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Yeah.
So I wanted to point out, 4 different ways of creating pointillism. Obviously, this being, more graphic and bold. This possibly could have been done on a computer. But, you can still get the idea that it's a tree. And I like the different shades of green in the tree and the different shades of brown in the trunk and all that. So that's one way. And to be bold, this is quite extraordinary, and this will, this requires a lot of patience. But again, that's all little dots, and I had to show that as an example because I think that's kind of mind blowing, So. The person, Surratt, that he kind of started this movement. It was right after Impressionism, inspired by Impressionism. He took it to another level. So I don't, you guys, this is quite a famous painting. I'm sure you all pretty much know about it. But yeah, this is all tiny, tiny, tiny dots of paint, right? This is pen. And this is a little bit broader, a little bit bigger, like somebody was saying earlier. I don't know if they looked at a video and they used like edges of Q-tips, and something like that could be done with this. So I just wanted to show there's no right or wrong. I just wanted to work with dots and see what we could play with here. So I'm going to stop sharing.
This is a silly question, but we have to draw 4 of the same thing.
Well, you don't have to do anything. I never want to say that you have to do anything. So, but that was what I was kind of talking about last week, as far as, honoring one object in 4 different mediums. So like I was going to do this one in pencil. I did this one in pencil. This one's going to be in pointillism. I want to do one in collage. I want to do one with ripped paper. And I haven't decided my last one. And if you're taking the watercolor class, I know a lot of you kind of cross over with me and Karen. We emailed back and forth, and I said it could be a nice crossover to make one of your objects in her class in watercolor. That's just an option.
Okay, thank you.
So, but
I just have a question. When I was taking this class, I thought I was gonna. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Doris.
Oh, okay. I thought I was gonna get some techniques in terms of drawing, and is this considered drawing? I mean, it
Yes.
seems more like painting or like goes beyond drawing to me.
So yeah, so pointillism is definitely a form of drawing. You know, it's just a different way. So I personally, I wanted to give you guys options to rather than sitting with a very fine point pen and creating tiny little dots and creating, I wanted to give you an option because to use other things. So I'm using markers, and I also like to kind of you know, that you don't have to go out and buy fancy art supplies. You can accomplish this process with some basic supplies. So that's so yes, this is a drawing technique. But you know, definitely in any drawing class you would learn about pointillism, cross hatching, shading. It's all along those same lines.
Thank you.
All right. All right. So one of the things, if you're going to go with color, now you could totally, if you're one of the people who has a fine pen and you want to sit there and do dots and all that stuff, that's fine by me. And that's you can you could do that. Personally, I don't think as a teacher, and you guys were watching me, it would kind of be a little tedious sitting there watching me make tiny dots. So I wanted to start, first of all, with these Crayola markers. And one of the, and I'll do the paint also at some point, but one of the things is with color, when you're doing something with color, and is that pointillism is one of those things that is created to almost like trick your eye. When you put colors next to each other in spots, your eye will then automatically blend it. So like if, let's say if I put, you know, if I combine dots of yellow and blue, your eye would see green. And that's one of the Seurat's the reason for his painting. So that's another, so you want to do a combination of colors. So for my softball, I have actually, let me do this. So for my softball, I have 5 different colors, because just like with this, where my darker lines are, you know, where my shading is in here, and I know I could do more and all that fun stuff. But that's where my darker, where I would use my darker tones, my lighter tones would be, you know, here, and obviously mixed with white. So to get that shading, that's why, like if you were doing a mug, let's say, Camille, like if I were doing a mug and I was going to draw, you know, let's say a mug, you know, all around here would be darker dots, right? In here would be darker dots. Around here, depending on where if the light source was coming here, these would be lighter dots. So they would be denser, and these would be lighter. Does that make sense, Camille?
Yeah, it does, but my mug has a cap on it.
Okay.
So it
yeah.
doesn't, I can't do the depths.
But I mean, as far as coming around,
yeah,
getting this down here, if it had, I'm just gonna make up a lid. I don't know like what kind of lid it has. But so as far as a lid would be concerned, again, if this is your light source, this is where your dark dot, your denser dots would be, and it would have a lighter dots in here. Is that right? So this would, so I'm just doing this real fast.
Do you suggest that we start with one color or one tone, different shades of the same tone?
Yeah.
As you have.
That's a good question. Yeah, I would start with one. I don't know. I think I would definitely, for me, I'm going to start with my shadow, my darkest spot. So I will definitely do a combination. I'll first start with the dark red. I'll add the darker orange and start to build up the layers. So.
You know, I think I read that Seurat did an underpainting, a light underpainting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That would make sense in terms of that would you know to fill that in. I mean, that would make sense. So anybody else have any knowledge? Because I didn't read up on him as much as I mean I used to in art history. You guys, Lynn, you have an echo of me?
Yes, we do.
Nancy, how much drawing do you do before you start with the dots? I mean, in your softball, you just drew a circle.
Everyone needs to mute.
Yeah, maybe everybody should mute. Is it me?
It's everything.
Okay, so I'm not hearing an echo.
It should be, everybody should mute. That will take
Right.
away the ambient noise.
I
Okay.
agree.
We all mute.
Okay,
Okay.
Turn it
why
on.
don't we do that? And then just give me a thumbs up. Cheryl, I see you in my screen. Can you give me a thumbs up if it's better? If everybody mutes? It's not.
It's fine. It's
Okay.
fine.
I think somebody's on the phone.
There are some people who haven't muted. Lily, you need to mute.
I'm gonna mute everybody. There you go. All right, Cheryl, thumbs up. Is this better? Okay. Because I only see like four of you on the side of my screen.
Nancy,
Yes.
just for mute purposes, if you're working, people in the class, if you're working on a computer, you can hit your space bar to temporarily unmute yourself, talk, and then when you are finished, you simply release the space bar and you will be muted again.
Hey, that's a good tip. I'm so glad you're in this class, John. I didn't know that
Thanks.
at all. All right. So unfortunately, you know, when as I am, it's hard for me to spacebar not working. I guess maybe, I don't know if it depends on your computer, John, you think?
It might. It is a standard thing with Zoom that if you hit the space bar and hold it, you have to hold it down. You know, not release it. You know, you hold. I'm holding my space bar down right now, and then when I release it, which I'll do now, you didn't hear me.
Right. So Jeanette, you want to try that again?
It works.
Okay, good. All right. You know, so again, so now I have my red and now I'm putting my orange. And so this is really just it's just a different form of shading, adding a little texture. This can be, it's one of those things that could be frustrating as you're doing it, but satisfying when it's done. I can create. So I'm just curious. So, John, I don't mean to call you out, but I know that you're, you know, shading is your thing. Are you using, for pointillism, are you using the fine marker or?
I'm using two different markers. I'm using a Sharpie, a Pilot Point razor, and then I'm also, no, let me start again. I'm using a fine point Pilot, and I'm using a Sharpie so that I have two different dot sizes.
Okay.
So I've been filling in with the small first, and then going back where I want to get the shade much darker with the Sharpie, which makes a larger dot.
Okay. So in a little while, we'll share, and I hope you feel comfortable sharing with us with that. That would be great.
Sure.
You can see that it starts off with a, you know, all artwork has a bit of a, I'm on my third color. And I'm denser here in the shadows. Now I brought out watercolor also because I wanted to show you that you can also, well, even if you wanted to do an underpainting, you could do something like that. If you could see this.
And what does an underpainting mean?
So
That-
thanks. Yeah, an underpainting would just be like, you know, like if I were to paint this whole thing yellow, you know, just to at least get a ground color down, and then put the colors on top. Could be something that to give it a little bit more richness. Let's see. So again, I just to for the sake of just using different supplies, I'm, if you can see, I never recommend putting a set of watercolors over your artwork, but I'm doing it just for the purpose of display. Again, these are real basic student supplies. And again, the process of dotting. You know, that kind of bring, you know, Crayola is a water soluble marker. So that kind of, then they start to blend in. I like this, what's happening. I don't know if you can. It looks very autumny. All right, I'm not gonna do the. Let me get my stitches down. You know, so I guess my point being is that like things like this can be done with anything. It could be done with a pencil, it could be done with a marker, it could be done with watercolor, it could be done with acrylic paint. So it doesn't have to be a painting, but it can be. You know, and even if I wanted to even then go further as I'm, you know, just talking, if I wanted to go in further and create more shadows with like a micron or a Sharpie pen, I could try that and see how that'll work. Yeah. Huh. This is one of those things that it actually looks better on my paper than it does on the screen. So I can work on that. Usually it's the other way around. Mhm. All right. Just for fun, I'm gonna, let's see, it's still wet. Do you guys get emailed the recording of the class at the next, do you guys get emailed that the next day? Cheryl, just get a thumbs up.
Yeah.
You guys get an email of that? You do?
I haven't, this is Dottie. I
You have or you haven't?
have not gotten one for your class. I used to get them for exercise classes.
Okay, all right.
I do not get one.
Okay,
This is Debbie. I haven't gotten one either.
okay. I'll because I get
I
one,
don't get-
I assume that you guys get one. So that's my error. I will make sure I forward it along. So you can see, so now I'm kind of just neatening up my edges with the black. I'm putting the, and it's really kind of bringing my, now it's kind of grounding this in here. Can you see? So this is just like if I was shading, now I'm shading with the dots. Whether or not you do that with color, because you can definitely go into this with instead of the black, and I was going to use the, you could have done that with blue in like an opposite color to create some dark tones, or it could be, you know, it doesn't have to be a yellow softball. Any color combination that you want. It's my dog's turn to start barking now. I hope you guys can't hear her. So, you know, it also depends on like people's personality. Like this could be dreadfully boring for certain people and be very frustrating and not for them, and that's fine. Or people can find this relaxing and and have a little fun with it. You know, it could bother your hands. I mean, I know all the different parts, but you know, as I said before, it is a basic drawing. It's one of the drawing techniques.
Nancy,
Yeah.
this is Camille again. When you use pointillism, you use it for the whole painting, right?
You know, I hate to say that you have to use it for everything. Like, you know, again, like I'm so much a there's no rules kind of person. So I don't know if that, you know, so I like, you can definitely incorporate, you know, like just like any painting has different areas with different textures. If this is going to create a texture in one section that you feel like it'll work. As you know, like I do Zentangle a lot. There's plenty of times I'll fill a section in with dots, you know, just to give a little bit of a different texture. So, you know, I try to break rules, I guess. I don't know what the like the right way to say it, with it, or not say that you have to do something, you know. Because I feel like when we get tied up with rules, then there's like that whole self-doubt and I didn't do it right. And you guys, you know what I'm talking about. So, you know, and I do think that most everything, you know, either it works or it doesn't. You try it, you don't try it, you do it again, or you can most likely fix it or turn it around to see if you yeah. So as I'm getting this darker, I hope you can you see that I'm grounding it, like it's totally, like it feels like it's sitting. I hope you think that too, because I do. Let's see. So that's why, like, anything that has dimension, as long if your bottom where that you're hitting your shadows are darkest, now it's gonna have it's gonna develop form. This is like autumn leaves meets softball. This is kind of. So I might just throw in a little bit of blues or on the bottom there also. I'm gonna do that now. So since orange and blue are complements and if they're next to each other, they should create like a brown. I'm gonna give that a try. My dog is going nuts downstairs. So this is week 3. I think, right? Yeah. Of this class, number 6. I do want to talk a little bit about like 2-point perspective. So think about that as you're drawing. I want, if we're ready to finish some of these up on our own, the next ones, the collages or anything else that you wanted to do, and then move on to another topic. I wanted to, I think 2-point perspective, and I also would love to kind of attempt some type of figure drawing. So those are in my head, but I'm always up for conversation about that.
Would you please say it again, what you're thinking about, the things that you're thinking about? I'm not understanding.
So the 2-point perspective in terms of like drawing like 3D, getting like more like a landscape, like a city, like there's actually like a formula of what to follow with like a horizon line and a point of interest. And so perspective drawing to get like,
I see.
and
That helps.
so that's one thing I wanted to cover. And then the figure drawing. I really think I can do it. We might just have to have some fun with it. Let's see. But let me while I have my I keep my iPad here. Let me just show you what I mean. Okay, so if you just real briefly, if you want to look up, so there's a way of doing so. You would need a ruler, and that, but there's like a vanishing point and how to draw and get like dimension where it's kind of going back, and things like that. It's definitely something that I wanted to cover. It's one of those things that's when it's, you know, when you get it, and then you can have a lot of fun with it. So that's what I wanted to cover.
Nancy, will you send us a sample?
Yeah, I'll try to find you like a YouTube link, and you know, for stuff to start to, you know, pre perspective. So. All right, where was I? Yeah, and then I figured that with, you know, with the help of the screen sharing and things like that, that I could, if I need to learn how to split screen, but I think we could do some type of, maybe I won't have a live model, but there's models that you could get model poses. And just get some figures down, some figure drawing down. So you can see that my dots are, you know, denser in the shadows and looser in the highlights. I want to erase this heavy pencil line at this point. Yeah, there's like some type of saying about using all the colors in the crayon box. I've never had that problem. I'm always one to experiment and play with lots of colors. So I'm gonna start with see what light blue does here. also gonna erase my heavy line here. Mm. Mm. All right. So with 15 minutes left, I'd like to open up the conversations a little bit. Take my two softballs. Maybe I'll I can still work on that, but I am looking forward to this. All right, so I'm going to take myself off Spotlight. And I'm going to just start opening up conversation. If anybody wants to share, if anybody has any questions, we have like 15 minutes left, so I thought maybe we'd talk. Robin?
This was really fun.
I'm glad.
This was really, really fun. Thank you.
Yeah, do you want to share something?
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't follow what you were doing. I was a bad student. I did that.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. And that's okay. You don't have to follow what I'm saying. You know, as I said, it's always merely a suggestion, but thank you.
It's really fun.
Good. I'm glad. Something, you know, just another thing that you can put in your
circular file.
Circular file, yeah. Or Sue, I saw you had your bowl up. Sue.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops, let me try to get it straight.
Right.
Oh, wow.
There you go. And look
So
how straight it is.
I used just a Sharpie marker with a thicker dot that I've used way many decades ago in art class. And stopped and stretched my neck a few times.
I get that, you know, that's get back to gallery.
I enjoyed this. I was thinking whether or not I was going to do it or not. And I liked it. I like it.
Good. Yeah. You know, again, like I said in the phrase, some people are going to like it and some people aren't. And, you know, and that's okay. You know, it's just as important to learn what you don't like as what you do like. So Candy, you came on the view. Does that mean you want to share? There you go. Look how nice. Is that a gourd? Oh, beautiful. So you're on mute. I don't hear you. I don't hear you. You're on mute. Take yourself off mute. There you go.
So it's a paperweight that was the first one of a collection that my mother had.
Okay. Oh, beautiful.
And then I went crazy and did
look at you.
A collage.
Oh, that's great.
That was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's all that I wanted you guys to do is just have fun with it and play with 4 different ways. So that's great. Thank you for sharing with that.
Nancy, I'll share.
Alice, is that
Alicia,
Alicia? Oh, oh gosh, I think I did that to you last time too.
this is, can you see? This is my image of the
Yeah.
soft egg.
It's a little egg. Did you paint the egg?
No, I
Okay.
didn't do this personally, no.
Okay.
So I like the way my egg came out. I don't like the way the stand and the shadow came out, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, if we were in person, I could help you with that. The only advice that I can give you is it's to my right of the you need to fill in your shadow a little bit more. So
Well-
that it's even. Does that make sense?
Oh, down here?
Yes.
Here.
Yes, that side, but the shadow of it,
Oh,
the
down here?
bottom, yes. Yeah, if you filled in that side, that bottom corner,
Around here?
yes, I think it'll come together. I think you'll like it more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So, and as an egg painter, I really love it because that's one of my things. It's another thing I do is paint eggs. Anybody else? John, you came to view. Does that mean you're going to share with me? So
Yeah.
look at you. Oh my God.
That's the pointillism one.
That's the pointillism. So I'm certain he made the origami crane.
Yeah. And then there's the start of his Zentangle one.
That's so neat. Oh, that's great.
That looks like fun.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. We John is our master shader. So, Marilyn Sachs.
Hi. Whoops. The first one is just the pencil drawing, and then I don't know if you can see the dots.
I do see the dots, sure. Yeah, that looks great. And you're still working on it, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I just would put something on the, have it denser on the bottom, so it just kind of weights it down. Like,
okay.
Yeah. So, but I love it. That's very, so.
Nancy, I have a question
you.
for you.
Okay.
When you're doing something like this, how do you decide? Like, do you work on the darkest part first and then go light? Does it matter?
I personally do because I don't like, I guess technically it would be better because it's easier to make something darker than make it lighter. So I guess technically you would work on your lighter parts and then slowly go darker.
Okay.
As you can see, I worked on my darker parts. And so I think that's more instinct. But I think as a teacher, I think the best advice would be you can always go darker. It's harder to go lighter. So you start lighter. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to share with me what they're
Well, I copied you. I did a tennis ball.
Okay. I hope I can see it. Let's see. I can see it.
Is it because I don't know how to get rid of that background I have.
Well, I can see it. Wait, stop right there. We could see it. That looks great.
I tried to make a shadow at the edge of the table, and that's where it's hard if there's not some kind of a concave or convex shape, for me at least.
Right. I feel like you've captured your shadow. If you can move it to a little bit to your, there you go. I feel like you could capture your shadow very well.
The shadow of the tennis ball, right? But the table.
Oh, the table. I see.
The side of the table.
I see. The side.
But that's okay.
Yeah, but the side of the table can all be that one shade because it's the side of the table. It's going down. Okay? So the side of the table can all be what you're doing.
Okay.
So.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to?
I could show you.
Lynn?
Yeah. I was using a gel pen and then I did some watercolor over it to see what happened. And that's what happened.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of putting some water on some water soluble pens and turning them into a painting. So that looks great.
A little smeary.
And no, that's okay. It's kind of like you turned it into a painting. So there's nothing wrong with that. So we We don't use smeary, we use painting.
Okay, okay.
Positive words.
Well, it's fun to see what happens to it, that's all.
Nancy?
Yes.
This is Lita. I missed last week's class, and as I'm doing this, I think this is fun, but I
Okay.
wish I had made a smaller image.
Oh, that makes sense. Can you share?
Well, I haven't finished because it's a
That's
bigger
okay.
image. I don't know. Can you see?
Let's see. Oh, sure.
I haven't finished, as
Yeah.
you can see.
Yeah,
And it was-
definitely can see.
It's
And
the
you
only
definitely-
thing available to me. I did it real quick. I didn't know what we were up to, so.
Okay. So you know what, but you definitely have already captured the shading and it already looks like it's going around.
Okay.
So, I mean, I get what you're saying in terms of like, you wish you did a smaller image, but you know, but you got the pointillism down and that's.
Yeah, see, that's why I was asking that question, because I was like, well, you know, should I make it darker? And I just wasn't sure
Yeah.
how to do that. That's why I asked you that question.
Yeah, the denser dots.
Anyway, thank you. This has been fun.
Good, I'm glad.
Thank
Beth,
you.
I got you. Let's see, Beth. There's her teapot.
This one.
Oh, yeah, look. And so you did a base coat, like a little bit of watercolor first, and then you did pointillism over it?
No.
Oh.
Just use the Sharpie pens.
Oh, wow, because that actually looks, you have such a soft blend of colors that it actually looks like there's a little paint and then dots over it. It's
Really?
beautiful. So you can see Beth worked small. She was-
I finished hours ago.
Smart.
Let me take you off spotlight.
I can share mine, but it looks like a first grader.
That's okay, Lily. That looks great. So do you have that in front of you? So you're on mute, Lily. So you want to just hit the space bar on the computer and see if you can. But giant picture. I see. This looks great. Your shading is great. You look like it's grounded. So there's nothing first grader-ish about this.
No, that's not the first grader. That's somebody else.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'm talking to two different people. I have Lily on the. Okay. All right. Let me cancel.
I'll show you the first grader now.
All right. Who's talking? Doris?
Doris.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, come on now, Doris. This is amazing.
Oh, really?
Can somebody else join in with me on this? This is great.
No,
Beautiful.
Very nice.
One of the problems I had is that most of the Sharpies I was trying to use are dry.
Oh, okay.
Use them, so I didn't have all the colors that I needed or wanted.
That's okay. But you know, you got a lot done in an hour. So you
It's very tiring on the hand.
I know. It's tedious. I get it. I totally get it. Is there?
I like what John was doing. That looks so interesting with like the different I don't know what you call it, the different strokes.
So the Zentangle, that's something that we learned in a past class. It's also it's a little bit of a passion of mine, but if you email me, I can send you some information about that. Is that okay? Just email me
Sure.
back and then yeah.
I can show you first grader.
Oh wait, I'm gonna get Donna first and Cheryl next. Okay, so Donna, let's see.
I missed the first two classes too. And this is the picture we were supposed to be doing in the watercolor class.
Oh, okay.
So I figured I would try to work on that a little bit with this
Okay.
and see what happens. So
that's a good idea.
It's beautiful.
I used the watercolor pencils.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was hard though.
No, but you got it. You know, it has a beautiful texture. So I like it. I really like this, the neck of the you captured like a metal to it, right?
Well, that's what she's been teaching too in the other classes, really like looking, like see with your eyes, like what do you see the colors and the shadows. So it was both working on the same shadowing type of thing.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
is just a different technique to shadow versus using the watercolors.
Yeah. Good. Oh, good. I'm glad that we're crossing over because that,
Yeah.
that gives you like a full experience. Cheryl, come on.
So I had this thing in front of me, and if I took the whole thing apart, then it would really. So here's the Matryoshki doll.
Oh yeah. Did you travel? Is that from?
This is the Czech Republic about 20 years ago. Kind of like.
Oh, that's lovely. So, well, you're too hard on yourself. You need to take more classes with me.
Right now it looks like a penguin.
Yeah, but it won't. I see the shape that you're talking about, but there's nothing elementary about that at all. So,
but it is aside from the fact that I'm left-handed, it is after a while hard on the wrist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm fully. Yeah, that's another reason. Like I wanted to give you the option of using some paint and lightening up a little bit on our hands. But anyway, so I hope so. Next week, I really do want to talk a little bit about perspective drawing. I'll send you as much as I can on it, and again, we'll play if we can learn something new. If not, we won't do it again. So sounds good. So again, I always encourage you guys to email me and communicate with me. I try very hard to talk back to answer you.
Thank you, Nancy.
So
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Oh,
Bye.
Nancy.
all right. Have a good week.